Hey, what's going on, everybody? Got a question for you. Did you know that not always have the people of the United States been able to vote in their U.S. senator? So, for over a century, everyday Americans had no say in who represented their state in the U.S. Senate. That all changed back in 1913. Man, a lot of things changed back in 1913. Some good, some not so good. So today we're going to be breaking down exactly what the 17th Amendment is and why it's still relevant. And yeah, so I am Uncle Sam. Welcome to Freedom Ain't Free. This is episode number 7, all about that 17th Amendment.
Let's make 'em pay.
Brought to you by Uncle Sam Presents.
Hey guys, before we get into the video, make sure to press the like button, leave a comment down below, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so the 17th Amendment does one main thing. It gives the people, not state legislators, the power to directly elect the U.S. Senate. So first we're going to start off by reading exactly what the 17th Amendment says. This is a transcript from an official document. Official document's all in cursive and stuff, and it's... Anyways, we're just going to read it off archive.gov. Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled, 2/3 of each house concurring therein, that in lieu of the first paragraph of Section 3 of Article 1 of the Constitution of the United States, and in lieu of so much of paragraph 2 of the same section as relates to the filling of vacancies, the following be proposed as an amendment to the Constitution, which shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of the Constitution when ratified by the legislators of 3/4 of the states. Quote, the Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, elected by the people thereof for 6 years. Each senator shall have 1 vote. The electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors and the most numerous branch of the state legislators. Quote, when vacancies happen in the representation of any state in the Senate, the executive authority of such state shall issue writs of election to fill vacancies, provided that the legislator of any state may empower the executive thereof to make temporary appointments until the people fill the vacancies by election and the legislator may direct. This is going to be an important part right here. Sorry, I was looking at the word appointment. This is really the whole reason why I decided to take a look at this 17th Amendment. In my last video, I was discussing the, well, let me finish reading this out. Quote, the amendment shall not be so construed as to affect the election or term of any senator chosen before it becomes valid as part of the Constitution. Okay, and then the dude signed it, right? So, like I said, it's this section right here. In my last video, I mentioned the death of Lindsey Graham, and I also made some jokes about how his sister was filling that vacancy. Her name is Darlene Graham. Okay, so she was appointed July 13th, and I was like, what the heck is going on here? Like, they can just slide family members in, and it's not the first time I'd heard about it. It was just the first time here recently that I was like, what the heck, dude? Like, what's going on here? So we'll get into that a little bit more here in a second. Back in 1787, the founders set up Congress with 2 chambers for a reason. The House of Representatives was meant to be the voice of the people, elected directly by voters, serving 2-year terms, sorry, closely tied to public opinion. The Senate was designed to be different. Each state, regardless of size, got 2 senators serving longer 6-year terms. And here's the key part. Those senators weren't elected by the public at all. These were chosen by state legislators, meaning state lawmakers picked them, not everyday citizens. So the thinking was that this would make the Senate a more deliberate, insulated body, a check against the passions of the crowd, and also a way to give state governments a direct voice in the federal government. Gee, what could go wrong in this scenario? So what if that was the plan? So if that was the plan, so why don't we change it? If they intended the state legislators to choose senators, what happened? So in the late 1800s, the system was running into serious problems. Surprise, surprise. First, corruption. No, say it ain't so. Federal government corruption. How in the world could this ever happen? How did those two words even fit into the same sentence? It is mind-boggling. State legislators picking senators created huge opportunities for bribery and backroom deals. Wealthy interests and party bosses could buy influence over a handful of state lawmakers instead of having to win over the general public. They were real documented scandals. Senators essentially were being bought and sold. Yeah, because that doesn't happen today at all. Not even in the least bit. None whatsoever. We just had a representative for the House of, a Congress member in the House of Representatives. It seems, even though it's anti-Semitic for me to say it, but it's okay if you wear the little hat. You can claim that foreign money influenced a campaign so much so that they essentially bought a seat in the House of Representatives and ousted the representative from Kentucky, Mr. Thomas Massey. This November will be the end of his term, and that is a crying shame. Like, that's something, like, honestly, my heart broke and my soul cracked a little bit whenever I learned that he had lost his primary race. Of course, that's not the end. There is a libertarian candidate running in Kentucky, so you never know. It's not a guaranteed lock that Ed Galrine, I think was his name. Anyway, Mr. APAC, he may not take the seat, but we know Thomas Massey is not going to be in it. But people were talking about him possibly filling Lindsey Graham's, which he's in South Carolina. I don't know how that would work, but we'll get into that. So we had bribery. Now we got deadlocks, and states legislators had to agree on senators. Disputes between state house and state senate chambers sometimes dragged on for months. Some states literally left Senate seats empty for years because the legislator couldn't agree on who to send to Washington. Holy crap. Third, the broader mood of the country. This was the progressive era, 1913, a time when Americans were pushing hard for a more direct democracy. Things like primary elections and ballot initiatives. People wanted political power back in their own hands, and an appointed Senate started to look outdated and undemocratic. Remember, we are a constitutional republic with democratically elected representatives. That's how this is supposed to be. The United States of America is not a democracy. We have democratically elected officials. There's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. Everyone likes to throw around this term. Oh, we're a democracy. We're a democracy. No, we're a constitutional republic. We have democratically elected officials. Like, we need to get that in our heads. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this just gets totally lost, whether it's intentional or unintentional, but we need to wake up to that. And that's one of the first things that we need to understand when it comes to having some information and some knowledge and being able to understand what's going on in today's politics, in just in general, in the news of the United States. If you want to be involved, then you got to know a little bit. And so that's really one of the main goals of this channel, is for us to learn a little bit and try to get an understanding of what the heck is going on here and why. Why is this happening? Where is this coming from? Okay, so momentum had built for decades. Some states even got creative and started holding advisory popular votes for Senate candidates, basically pressuring their legislators to fall in line with what voters wanted before it was actually official. So eventually Congress caught up with public opinion. The amendment passed by the Congress in 1912 and was ratified in the states in 1913. The new text was pretty simple. Senators would now be elected by the people of each state for 6-year terms. Same as before, just different method of choosing them. It also included a practical fix if a Senate seat becomes vacant, say someone dies or resigns, because this is what brought on everything, was that Lindsey Graham died, right? And so this is what spurred this, like, what the heck is going on here? Because I'm not the only one who has asked this question. I know I'm not. And I've seen other podcasters, mention like, why, how, what? And like, we should know why, how, what. As soon as this stuff happens, instead of going, what the is going on around here, we should go, oh, okay, because of the 17th Amendment, they can just install someone temporarily. Temporarily is, we'll see about that. We'll see how temporary Darlene Graham is. The amendment allows state governors to appoint a temporary replacement until a special election can be held. That part hasn't changed and still shapes politics today. It is why you sometimes hear about governors appointing someone to fill an empty Senate seat. So why should you care about something that happened over 100 years ago? This is exactly why we should care about things that have happened over 100 years ago, things that happened 200 years ago, things that happened last week. We should know, we should pay attention. These things should be on our minds, or at least we should have understanding of it, so that when it happens, when the time comes, it's like, boom, okay, now I know why. I may not agree with it. As a matter of fact, I probably am not going to agree with it, but at least we'll have the understanding of this is why it is. Because every time that you vote for a U.S. senator, which you should be voting for, but this is the thing. I'm like, you should be voting, but we should know who in the world we're voting for. Like, I live in Texas, as I've mentioned many times before, and we've got goddamn Ted Cruz, who is a complete nutbag. Like, he's a I guess he's evangelical. I don't know, but he doesn't even know. Like, he has his excuse, and it absolutely blew my mind when he said on Tucker Carlson that the sole reason he became a senator in Texas, which I do believe he's actually Canadian. I think he was born in Canada. That's another thing we need to discuss at some point. It's like, why in the world? Like, I'm torn on that because I've seen some representatives that are foreign, but they've been like diehard, like, constitutionalists. But then someone like Ted Cruz, diehard Zionist. I don't get that at all about sole reason. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna go ahead and include that clip. Hold on, let me pause this for a second.
No. I'm hardly the one who's. I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the
PAC.
So it raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American friendship.
Is it PAC of foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the PAC stands for the America Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that.
That was his stated reason for becoming, Congress. Yeah. So, from Texas, like, not his stated reason is not to represent Texans. His stated reason is to defend not Texas. and he's been roasted thoroughly, as he deserves to be. Absolutely deserves it. So I cannot remember why I was senators, right? So I don't know, it kind of seems like senators might still be captive. Oh yeah. So that's all. That being said, it's worth noting that this amendment isn't universally celebrated. Some critics even today argue that it has weakened state representation in the federal government, removing a built-in check that gave state governments a direct stake in national lawmaking. Others argue that it is necessary and overdue democratic reform that eliminated corruption and gave power back to the citizens. I think that they found around it, the lobbyists and whomever. There's always going to be a way around it. There's always going to be a way to corrupt things. That's how man is. That's what man does. Man corrupts. Everything that man touches, it corrupts. And any time that there is a way that someone can gain power and money and whatever it is that flesh desires, then they're going to corrupt. And it's definitely going on today. It's definitely going on in our Senate. It's definitely going on in our state representatives. It's going on in our federal representatives. I don't know which is worse, but the federal ones seem to be getting the most notoriety, maybe, probably. So next time you fill out a ballot with a Senate race on it, remember it's not just a routine part of democracy. It is a result of hard-fought, century-old reform that has changed who gets hold of the power. Once again, dude, I don't know. I don't know how true that still is. So there is a list. I'm on Senate.gov for the appointed senators right here. This is the one I was talking about. Darlene Graham. So she took in South Carolina. She took the seat in South Carolina whenever her brother died, right? And so this has gone on, what was it, 210 times it's been, I think, something like that. And so it's not the first time. Won't be the last. We've had two happen in 2026. Alan Armstrong from Oklahoma, also from this year. Two last year, one in 24. What was that? Two in 23, one in 21, one in 20, one in 19. And so this is not a new thing at all. And then notice over here on the side, it okay, so it has nothing there because this is lets you know if they do get elected. In 23, Pete Ricketts, he got elected on November 5th, 2024. So I guess nothing. I don't know. It's not in here about 23, 24, 25, though it should tell us whether or not they did seek election, whether they were defeated, whether they won. So like I said, it was this whole Darlene Graham stepping in. So the governor, I guess it was the governor, was like, okay, look, we need a gram. We're a gram short, and we know we can't be a gram short. Nobody can be a gram short when it comes for delivery. We have to have all of our grams together. We can't be a gram short. So this just reeks of nepotism, like horribly, horribly bad. And I guess obviously there'll be an election because this is primary this year. Yeah, this is primary. This is a primary year. So there will be an election in November. And it seems to be that South Carolina seat is bought and paid for already. So just like so many other seats. So we'll see how this turns out, whether she sticks around or the people step up and do their best. And it sucks when you have such a high population of people that fall for basic like Fox News BS. One of the main things in Thomas Massey's election was they ran these AI videos of him supposedly going to have it, like checking into a hotel to have a threesome with like, who was it? Was it AOC and Ilhan Omar or whatever? And like people actually bought this, like people believed it. Like they were so ignorant that they actually believed this AI video. Like this man's actually doing this. And it's like, oh my gosh. Oh, like Fox News lies, CNN lies, NBC lies, CBS lies. They all lie. Like they all lie. That's why independent podcasters and journalists are growing. That's why we are the decentralized intelligence. We are the decentralized media. Wake up. And you know, for the next 10 or 20 years, we're still going to have all these boomers that, you know, that's where they get their news. And they're going to keep falling for blatant BS, you know? So anyways, this has been, hopefully this has been informative. 17th Amendment, 1913. We can look at some other stuff that happened in 1913 that was not so great. Make sure to like the video, leave a comment below, share it, subscribe, do all those fun things. If you found this the least bit informative or interesting, let me know. Because I think we need more stuff like this. And so if this is what you liked, then this is what you're going to get. So, love you guys. Remember, somebody's got to pay. So freedom ain't free. Let's make them pay. We've been paying for decades. It's time to turn the tables. The first step is staying informed. I am Uncle Sam. Hey guys, don't forget to set your notifications. This video was originally uploaded from Freedom Ain't Free 1776, an Uncle Sam Presents video. Copyright 2026, Uncle Sam Presents.